Introduce yourself, please.
What for the? So this is a
Sorry.
This is a documentary
No, I'm just...
about a short film. No one watches short films, so who's going to watch this?
Hi, I'm Loz Morgan. I'm producer on Horoscope. I'm 27 and I'm a filmmaker.
I'm Ed. I'm 19 and I make films.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Hall, and I have written Horoscope, and I'm currently directing it, and I am at university at the moment.
Yeah. Well, before uni, I don't know, I was sort of never really doing, all the crappy sort of typical minimum wage jobs that you do, travelling in between. I didn't really find anything I liked to do. Then, after all my friends started going, I just thought, well, I've got to go to uni, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I got about halfway through doing an access course, which was a year long. And I was about halfway through it, and my ex-girlfriend took me onto a set the one day. Said, do you want to come along and be on the film? I was like, yeah, right, of course. And then as soon as I got there, I didn't even know what I was going to study at uni. And then as soon as I was on that film set that day, that was it. I started speaking to the cameraman. How do you get into this? Oh, you can do courses in it at university. Had no idea you could do any of that. And that was it from then on. It's like, right, film, that's what I'm doing. That's what I want to do. It's quite a simple choice, really.
I didn't want to go originally. I wanted to just work in the industry, doing runner work and things like that, but I was convinced eventually that it would be useful because I'd essentially buy 3 years of time just to make movies and therefore build up a portfolio. So I chose a course which was very practical over one that had more theory based things, because I've done similar modules, film studies modules before, and so I want to do something very practical so I create the most work.
Yeah, I don't know, I think some people might agree, I might disagree, but I think the whole point of being at university is some people are here to have fun, fair play, you can go and do that. But I think the best thing about being at university is being able to have the 3 years to just meet other people who are passionate, like-minded, to collaborate with and to make things. I mean, what else in your life? You've got a job 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, you don't have the time to go off and do this kind of thing. So, yeah, I think the course allows you to do that, really.
I do a lot of filmmaking, a lot of film production. It's a film production course. It's called film production, so a lot of my time is spent making and producing films.
Yeah, I love my course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad I picked it. There's nothing else I would have chosen. Maybe science, but no, filmmaking, film production is the best course by far that I could have picked. Again, I'll come back to the fact that I think a lot of filmmakers or wannabe filmmakers pick this course because they think it's going to be fun. They think they're all going to be directors, but I think it's obvious who's passionate when you come to be on the course. Who wants to do the retake? Who wants to go out at 1 a.m. to carry on shooting and do another take? Who wants to work all night long in the cold, take after take until daylight and there's no hours left? They're the people who are going to make it. Yeah, I'm glad I took the course, and I'm glad I met other passionate people who are willing to put the effort in. Yeah.
Horoscope is a short horror film about a man who wakes up in a series of horror movie scenes, and he must learn how to be a hero in order to escape, was the pitch.
Well, because I was so preoccupied with the documentary we were making at Christmas time, I really wanted to write some scripts, but there just wasn't enough time in the day. So then when it came to filmmaking time, I think we were none of us had really written anything, so just Ryan came along with his script, and I was thinking, oh, is it going to be a last minute thing or something? But no, I started reading it, and it reads really well. It's nicely written. It uses all the different genres, which is great fun to make.
It's an excuse to make 5 different horror films at the same time, really. I always read that if you learn how to make a horror film, then you've learned how to make movies, because you have to make the audience feel so many different emotions in horror films. You have to scare them. You have to make them feel sympathy for characters. You has to be very empathetic. You learn different effects, different camera movements. You learn everything from making horror films. So I said, why not make 5 in one?
It's kind of like a cross between Groundhog Day and every horror film ever made.
I've always been into making films that I would want to see, because I see a lot of student filmmakers making films that are just so boring. And starting with the alarm clock ringing, guy wakes up, turns the alarm clock off. It's good. I just didn't want to do that. I want to see films that I would want to see. So, Sam Raimi didn't make a really arty drama about 2 autistic children living together. He made Evil Dead, which is a really horrible, disgusting, funny horror film, because that's what he liked. That's the sort of film that he liked. So I've always been much more interested in doing stuff like that rather than, arty things.
And going through, I don't mind producing, but the way we'd written the casting call was Orange Film Award winning writer-director, makeup artist from Doctor Who, and a great collaborative team that have made this, that and the other. And from that we had 200 applicants that wanted to apply. So I had to go through every single one of them, watch all their videos. It took me a week. But we finally got it down to 20 people. And they turned up, and half of them we didn't even like. I think it came down to about 4 that we really, really liked. And then out of that was the 2 that we picked.
We chose Heidi and Max in the end, because they were perfect. Max, I've never had somebody who's made me laugh so much in an audition.
That's the back of the neck, so just fuck.
He's perfect. He's got a real Bruce Campbell quality about him, which is definitely what you want in a horror comedy, or is what I want anyway. And Heidi was great. Those are the only 2 people that genuinely made me laugh. Everyone else comes in very serious, and it's as much choosing people you'd want to work with as it is they fit the role. You don't want to pick someone who is good at acting, but just you're going to have a miserable time making it, because it will show that you're having a miserable time making a film if the crew's not getting on.
The recce, yeah. I think the recce was paramount, really. Without that, we'd have taken 3 times as long, and we didn't have 3 times as long. We ran out on the last day. We had to get 60 shots done all in one day. And without the recce, we wouldn't have known where to start. We wouldn't have known what angles to pick. We wouldn't have been able to do the storyboards. We wouldn't have known what the plays look like and the layout. So I think a recce was, that you just have to do recce's. I think there's a reason people do recce's, because it makes sense. You know where the camera's going to be placed when you get there.
We went on a recce about 2 weeks before we started shooting in Wales, at Loz's granddad's house, and in the grounds he has a lot of creepy shit. There's a cottage which was empty, which is perfect, so we could have the cottage to ourselves. The inside of the cottage, the dimensions of the first main room was exactly like the cabin in Evil Dead. It's spot on with the fireplace and everything. Next door to that is a barn filled with just old crap that we could just dress the set with. It's perfect. We even rewrote the torture porn scenes to fit that location just because it was so perfect. And there's this old swimming pool next door which we just wrote into it just because it's just great.
We were really lucky because it actually belonged to Loz's grandpa, which we thought was going to be a good thing, but then he went a little bit mental.
Yeah, the other thing about the wreck is it gave us ideas. I mean, without that, we'd have been stuck to what was in our head from a different location. You know, as soon as you get there, you say, we can use this, we can put that over there. You know, this shot will be better. We'll write this back into the script. And as soon as we did the recce, the storyboard came out of it, and so did rewriting. So, you know, it was very useful. This is a funny one now because I feel like I've actually I can say the same thing that I've asked directors over the years. If you want to be a filmmaker, get out there and make films. I was under the impression that no, if you know what you want to watch, you know what you want to do, you can just make it. No, you can't. You've got to practice. You got to make films. You learn from mistakes as well. We've had a couple of lighting continuities on this one. Last year we had actor problems, and these are just things that you just got to put up with, and they're expected to happen as well. If you go into it thinking everything's going to work out fine and this is how it looks on the storyboard, then you're going to be wrong. That's why you've got to make films. So to any filmmaker, make some films. If you want to be a filmmaker, stop thinking about it. Yeah, it's not that hard. Everyone's got a camera. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully Horoscope will be good, and if you're watching this, then I'm sorry, but
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Sign off.
Watch Horoscope, which is never going to come out, let's be honest.
Fair.
yeah, Horoscope. Watch it. I don't know why you're watching this if you haven't seen Horoscope, to be honest, but yeah, go and watch Horoscope if you can. If it actually becomes a thing, it won't, but we can hope. Loud.